Catherine? Please don't leave me alone. Catherine? Catherine?
What if I told you the person watching this video right now isn't the real you? How would you know if you were the copy? What makes you, you? What happens when someone else thinks they are too? SOMA doesn't rely on monsters or gore. It doesn't scream at you, it whispers. It whispers the kind of questions that keep you up at night. The kind of questions that make you check your doors and lock your windows. The true, spine-chilling fear comes from something much deeper. The breakdown of identity. Picture this. It's May the 2nd, 2015 in Toronto. It's partly cloudy, with temperatures in the mid to high 60s. You're at the doctor's being admitted for a brain scan. And while it's in progress, a perfect copy of your mind is made. In this very moment, something irreversible is going to occur. The single most important coin toss of your life is about to take place. The outcome? Well, let's see. Heads, you go home and live out the rest of your remaining days as you normally would. But tails, you blink, and now you're sitting in the storage facility of an underwater research station, known in the game as Pathos 2. The date? May 9th, 2104. It has been a week and 89 years since your initial brain scan. Everyone you've ever known and loved no longer exists. Someone doesn't simply ask, what if you lost your humanity? It asks something far worse. What if you were never the real one to begin with? In this video, we're going to break down how SOMA turns questions of identity and consciousness into a uniquely disturbing kind of horror. One where the real monster might be the one you see in the mirror.
Found the dome ceiling.
Oh, that's better. Simon, was it?
Jared, Simon Jared.
Hi, Simon. I'm Catherine. Have you figured out what's going on yet?
Let's start with a classic thought experiment. The ship of Theseus. Imagine a wooden ship sailing the seven seas for many years, battered by unrelenting waves, jagged shorelines, and hurricane winds. Over time, every part of that ship is replaced piece by piece in the name of maintenance and survival. Eventually, not a single original part remains. So the question is it still the same ship? Take it one step further. Imagine someone collects all the discarded parts and reconstructs them into a second ship. Which one is the real ship of Theseus? This question has puzzled philosophers for centuries. It's a debate about identity, continuity, and what it means for something or someone to remain the same despite change. SOMA takes this idea and applies it not to wood and nails, but to human consciousness. And in doing so, it transforms a philosophical riddle into an existential horror. At the beginning of SOMA, Simon is just an ordinary man living in 2015 Toronto. After suffering a traumatic brain injury, he agrees to undergo a brain scan as part of an experimental treatment. What he doesn't know is that the scan doesn't simply analyze his brain, it copies it. His mind, his thoughts, his memories, his consciousness are all converted into data. To the player, the transition seems instant, but in reality, that data remains untouched for nearly a century. Without warning or explanation, the copy of Simon's mind is activated, waking up in a decaying dive suit deep within an underwater research facility in the year 2104. Simon, the version the player controls, isn't transported, he isn't resurrected, he's duplicated. The person we follow for the rest of the game is Simon 2.0, and the original Simon, he lived out the remainder of his days in blissful ignorance, never knowing what came of his scan. This is one of the most quietly devastating moments in the game. To the player, it feels like teleportation, from a modern-day doctor's office to a nightmarish post-apocalyptic seascape. But in reality, nothing has moved. One version of Simon simply went home. The other one woke up in a nightmare. The horror lies in how seamless it all feels. Simon 2.0 remembers everything the original did. He feels like the same person. But the truth is, he's a digital copy, a reconstruction, a duplicate who simply begins where the original left off. From the very beginning, Simon 2.0 is not the original. And yet, for all intents and purposes, he thinks he is. That's what makes this so disturbing. In SOMA, identity isn't rooted in a soul or some mystical constant. It's based entirely on perspective and memory. As the game progresses, this concept only becomes more terrifying. Each time Simon transfers his mind into a new body, the process feels routine. You press a button, black out, and then quote-unquote wake up in a different shell. But something horrifying happens behind the scenes. The original version doesn't disappear. It stays behind. Still conscious, still aware, and often abandoned. In that moment, a split occurs. Two versions of Simon now exist. Identical in memory, but completely separate in experience. One moves forward, the other is trapped, left behind in what amounts to a living death. This is the true horror at the heart of SOMA. Not monsters, not gore, not even death itself, but the breakdown of continuity. The realization that you are only ever the only one experiencing the present moment. And that other version of you, just as real, just as self-aware, might be left behind, isolated, and in agony.
What if he didn't need to wake up?
You'd do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
One of the most sickening moments in SOMA, as well as one of my favorite moments in the game, is here. The Omicron transfer. This is where the narrative takes a brutal turn and forces us to confront a horrifying question. What happens when you're no longer you? Really excited about this part. This part is, I guess, like the part I anticipated, like I knew it was coming, and it's one of my favorite parts in the game. In this moment of deep philosophical tension, Simon 2.0, the version we've been controlling, undergoes a transfer. His consciousness is copied into a new body, Simon 3.0. The reason behind it is he needed a more robust suit to survive further down. The Simon we've been experiencing the world through remains behind. He is put into a sleep-like state, awaiting a decision that you as the player are tasked with. Do you leave him there, alone, effectively abandoning him, or do you euthanize him to end his suffering? This decision is a turning point in the narrative, because it's the first time SOMA directly forces you to see the other you, the original Simon. Up until now, your relationship with Simon has been as if you're him and you're him alone. It stems from the concept of the break in continuity I had alluded to earlier. But now, there's a mirror, an exact replica of you, sitting helplessly as the player stands in a moment of moral crisis. The horror of this moment isn't about facing another version of yourself. It's about the emotional weight of being forced to decide what to do with your past self. SOMA isn't asking you to watch this play out. It's making you complicit. It's handing you the needle and letting you choose to inject yourself or not. You're not an observer. You're involved in Simon's fate. Your fate. You're the one who must choose whether to leave this version of Simon to die or end his life yourself. And either choice implicates you in his suffering. This choice, one of the game's central themes, taps into the Ship of Theseus analogy we discussed earlier. If Simon's consciousness has been copied, is he still the same Simon we've been following? Or is he a new person entirely? By making this choice, SOMA forces us to confront our own understanding of identity, consciousness, and what it means to be human. And through this forced participation, we become part of the horror. Really quickly, I want to tell you what I did in that moment. I felt like it would have been a fate worse than death to leave him stewing in that ungodly combination of decaying man and rampant machine. I euthanized him. I hit the switch to drain his battery, I watched as his beady red eyes faded away and his laboring breath turned into eerie silence. I felt like it would have been not only unethical overall, but morally, personally, to leave him like this. In my opinion, it's better to fade away peacefully than to be thrashing and screaming as you're being taken away forcefully.
That was the plan, all right. I've been guarding it ever since we brought it back to Tao. Just couldn't bring myself to let go.
The end of Soma doesn't offer comfort. It offers clarity. Arguably, that might be worse. After everything, the transfers, the moral compromises, the slow unraveling of what it means to exist, Simon reaches the Ark, the last hope for humanity, a virtual world meant to preserve what's left of us in the face of total extinction. The idea was simple: load the minds of the survivors into the simulation and launch it into space, safe from the chaos and decay of Earth, a clean slate, in theory. So, who's been protecting the last ember of human civilization all this time? Sarah Lindwall, the last living human. When you meet her, she's dying, not from monsters or infection, just time. She's spent her final days guarding the Ark from the WoW, the deranged AI responsible for most of what's gone wrong across Pathos 2. Playing devil's advocate, the WoW was designed to protect human life. After the meteor wiped humanity off the face of the planet, its directive kicked into overdrive. It kept doing its job, just in the most horrific roundabout way possible, like a suffocating caretaker who mistakes captivity for protection. It didn't just restrict contact with the world, it built a grotesque imitation of life and tethered what remained of humanity to it, like a twisted, permanent umbilical cord. But Sarah Lindwall resisted all of that. Her final purpose was to protect the one shot at something better, and she succeeded. When we arrive, she entrusts the Ark to Simon, to us, and with that, her mission is complete. But she doesn't want to die alone. She asks us to kill her, to turn it off, to end her suffering. And morally, that's the right thing to do. Personally, for me, still the right thing to do. The only other option is to leave her there, suffering. I turned off her life support. I stayed with her until her final words were said and her last breath was taken. It felt right. Honoring her wish meant acknowledging the end of her species. Humanity as we knew it was over. After all of that, Simon should have known better. But he doesn't see the truth, not yet. He believes that once the transfer to the Ark is complete, he'll wake up there. Peaceful beach, warm sunlight, a new life. And for a few seconds, we believe it too. Then the lights go out. We're still in the abyss, still in the dark. The transfer already happened, but we didn't go with it. We're still here. He's still here. Simon screams, demanding to know what went wrong. Catherine tries to explain, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't want logic, he wants to believe. But Soma doesn't bend to belief. It only shows truth. Simon was never going to transfer. That was never how it worked. It was always a copy. The same as before, the same as Omicron. And even though he should have known, we should have known, we still hope. That hope dies here. In a moment of helpless rage, he lashes out at the only one left, Catherine, and overloads her cortex chip. The last person he could talk to, the only one who might have helped him understand. And then, nothing. The faint ripples of muffled water, the soft chiming of the console, that's all he has now. He's alone, trapped in a body at the bottom of the ocean. No light, no future, just the crushing realization that he wasn't the lucky one. He was the one left behind. And the version that did make it into the Ark, Simon 4.0, he gets to live in peace, completely unaware of what the other Simon is enduring. That's the killing blow. There is no justice, no moral resolution, only a final quiet truth. There is no continuity, only the illusion of it.
Whoa. Is this... Did it work? Catherine? Catherine!
Where do we stand now?
Relieved.
You're not the original. You never were.
Okay, Simon.
The coin toss?
It's all right
It
now.
was never real. There was no way to transfer. Only duplication. Every time Simon stepped forward, another Simon was left behind. Conscious, alive, and abandoned. The one who wakes up keeps moving. The one who doesn't is forgotten. The blunt part? There's no villain. No real, concrete mastermind. People doing what they had to do. Systems acting as they were designed. SOMA doesn't offer closure. It holds up a mirror. If you were copied right now, which one would be you? The one left behind? Or the one walking away? Let me know in the comments. Because if you don't know, maybe that says something too. Oh, and the obligatory like the video and subscribe. Alright, I'll see you guys.